Time now for Konrad's Car Clinic. Yeah, what is in the clinic today, sir?
Well, since everybody talks about batteries, I was going to talk a little bit about batteries in cars and how important it is to keep your battery serviced correctly. You know, when I've trained people in the past, I've always told them you have to look at electricity as water flowing through a hose. So that water flowing through a hose in a car battery is the outbound power to do stuff in the car. And then once the car starts, the generator or the alternator takes over, and the battery is really just a piece of wire in the middle of all of it. So the charging system has to be able to charge the battery. Well, when the battery has all of that, you know, you open the hood and you look at all that crusty corrosion on the battery terminals.
The gunk.
Whose phone is on? Yes, we're
Mars.
Mars phone. Your
So when all that crusty corrosion and stuff happens, it's like kinking the hose, the water hose. So now the alternator has to work harder trying to charge the battery. The starter has to work harder trying to draw the amperage out of it to start the car, because it's got to get through what's the resistance of that corrosion. So not only does a dirty battery terminal damage the battery and the wires and stuff, it causes, you know, long term it can do some damage to the alternator and starter, because they have to work that much harder just to do their normal job. So keeping your battery terminal serviced, I would say once or every 2 years or so, is just a smart thing to do. What they'll do is they'll take it off, they'll clean it all up, you know, put a good little battery pad underneath it that's going to have anti-corrosion
piece of felt,
piece in it. Well, usually they should be soaked with a material that's going to neutralize the battery acid.
kind of like a railroad tie.
Yeah. Well, because what's actually happening is the inside of the battery is made out of lead, and as things heat and cool, the lead heats and cools at a different rate than the plastic of the battery body does. So little wisps of sulfuric acid get out, and that's what causes that corrosion.
Does dielectric grease help?
Dielectric grease helps quite a bit, because that keeps the humidity from getting into those components. So keeping them clean at least every 2 years to get your battery terminal serviced is just a smart thing to do. It'll make everything else in the car last longer.
Cool. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.